reverse and rebuild curves. So with reverse, it will work with an EP, both an EP curve and a Bezier curve. Rebuild will not. It will only work with an EP curve. So you have to, like open and close, you'd have to convert your Bezier curve to a regular NURBS curve using the modified convert Bezier to NURBS. But this is an EP curve. The first command is reverse. So if I go to control vertex, you can see this is my first point. It's an open box, and this is my last. So I drew it left to right. Let's say I wanted to go right to left. Go to the object curve. I'll go to curves, reverse direction. And now you notice that the open point is on the right. So it's like I drew it right to left. Sometimes the direction of your curve matters. So that's the reverse. The second thing I want to show you is rebuild. I'm going to go to the attributes, and I'm going to attribute editor, this icon up here. And then I want to look at the number of divisions. So this has two spans. It has, if I go to hulls, you'll see that it has one span and two spans. One span, two spans. Say I wanted to have more than that. Let's say I really wanted it to have 5 or maybe even 6 spans here, and I want them all spaced out equally along my curve. So I can go up or down with the number of spans here, among other things. This is a rather large options box that we're going to go to, so bear with me. Curves, rebuild, options. So there's a lot going on here. We set it. So really what I'm most interested in is whether I want to reduce or make uniform, in other words, evenly spaced, or match where my points are when I make my spans. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can keep the ends, you can keep the tangents, so it keeps the curves of it. You can keep CVs the same. You can keep the number of spans the same, although we don't really do this. You can change the degree. Maybe you want to make it more curvy here. But really what you're going to do, what I do most of this, let's reset this, is to add or subtract the number of spans. So here I have 2. Let's say I wanted 6. And if I want them uniformly spaced, or if I'm reducing the number of spans, this will help it reduce it and keep the curve shape. Or if I want to kind of match where my CVs make the curve. So if I have a complex curve and I want to try and match it as best I can, I might choose match here. But you'll notice that then I can't add or subtract spans. So generally I'm going to make this uniform, and I'm going to make 6 spans equally spaced. So now you'll notice that I have spans of 6, and if I go to the hulls, which measure my spans, here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 evenly spaced spans. Where they are on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, separated by my EPs. So I can rebuild curves. So when I usually use this for is when I'm creating, say, a boundary or a rail extrusion, a bi-rail shape, and it's important that to keep the number of in the layout of the polygonal mesh even, you want to keep all the curves with the same number of points and roughly equally laid out, equal number and spacing between all of the points of the various curves. So rebuild curves is a good way to make sure that all of the curves, or all the needed curves, have the same number of spans, and that keeps the polygonal mesh that gets created equal and nicely and evenly spaced out, which is important for both modeling and texture.